Hey, what's up guys? John here. Another train derailment just occurred last night in Montana. Now, we've had many train derailments in 2023. East Palestine, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Florida just had one. I mean, this is happening. It's more and more common now than ever before. But when we look at the chain of events that are unfolding around this, and we have to look at kind of what the future is going to look like with food production in America, we see a very bleak future. But on this channel, I talk about personal finance, real estate, business, and money. And I'm sharing this information because I believe we're going to start to see food inflation at levels that we've never seen before. And I think it's very wise for people to kind of plan in advance to position themselves so they can make smart financial investing decisions today to prepare for tomorrow. Now take a look at this. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in this economy. Every time you hit the like button, YouTube will share it with one person. So please do your part and hit that like button. Also, today's video is sponsored by GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you want to fix your credit to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you at GreatCreditFast.com. Take a look at this. So, train derailment on Montana Bridge sends multiple rail cars into the Yellowstone River, right? Look at how this train fell. Look at where it fell. And you look at the position, right? In between Reed Point and Columbus, Quebec right here, right? And so we look at this and we're like, okay, Reed Point and Columbus, which is right here. Reed Point, Columbus, Quebec, right? So this is exactly where this train went. It fell right there in this river here. And so when you're looking at where this river actually connects, it's pretty shocking. So it actually dumps it straight into the most fertile farmland in America. So it goes all the way up here. It goes all the way up here. And you're looking at Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota. And when you're looking at this farmland, Montana, it was right here, and it goes right here. Boom. Drops right into the most fertile farmland. Now, when we're looking at the chain of events that are unfolding, and then you see a $1 trillion infrastructure bill that was signed into law 2 years ago, it seems like our infrastructure now is worse than it's ever been before. Maybe it's something that is just getting more media attention today than it was in the past. Maybe it was more normal back then. I don't remember these chemical train derailments happening what seems like every month, one big one after the next. We'll look at East Palestine. I mean, that was huge. You look at what's going on in South Carolina, another big one. You had another one in Miami. This just happened about 2 months ago. 30,000 gallons of propane, right? 113,000 liters of propane tipped over. Then you had a situation in Nebraska. And then another one, Nebraska. Or no, I believe that's the same one. That's just the actual pictures of the derailment in Nebraska. But if you look at what's happening, there's this carbon pipeline that's being laid out right now, and the location of this pipeline is something we need to pay attention to and how this kind of plays out. So they're actually getting easements on land, and this land is located right here. So the project footprint is here. So you're looking at South Dakota, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Minnesota. I mean, again, most fertile farmland in America. This is a 2,000-mile pipeline, 2,000 miles, and they are already working with 2,000 plus farmland owners. They're working. They already have. Let's see here, the strategy, the benefits. I believe it's strategy here. So their strategy is they're going to extract, survey, and stake. They're going to clear it, and they're going to lay it, right? All their pipelines. But if you look at who they are, get the facts, this is it. So if you look at their get the facts, then you look at their easements, Summit Carbon Solutions is committed to visiting landowners to further understand and address individual concerns with the various types of properties involved with the project. Such efforts are not merely aimed at reaching an agreement on an easement document, but also solidifying relationships for years to come. We're pleased to have reached such agreements with over 2,000 landowners to date, encompassing nearly 3,200 parcels of land. We're shaking hands with more and more folks regarding easements every day. Now, they are not doing this. The farm landowners don't have a choice. Like, this is what's happening. They're taking this. They're taking this by force. 2,000 miles of farmland, and you look at who are, and this is kind of an interesting kind of layout. who is Summit Carbon Solutions? Who are their big donors? One of their big donors is John Deere. And so I want to know who's a big donor in John Deere. It's Cascade. You're like, okay, well, who's Cascade? Oh, it's Bill, right? You're like, okay. And then what's Bill investing in? Oh, alternative brands like Beyond Meat, right? You're like, okay. And then boom, 3 days ago, all U.S. approves this lab-grown meat. What I think is going to happen is if you want to eat really good food, like healthy steaks, and you want to eat this, it's going to become harder and harder and harder to get your hands on it in the years to come. And so the cost of really good food is going to be going up. So in the mainstream, and everyone wants to tell you, $50,000 a year is good, or $100,000 a year is good, and $200,000 a year is good. Look at what's happening with inflation. Look at how much money they're printing. Look what they're doing to the dollar. Look what they're doing to our savings. They're destroying it. So when you look at the cost of living, just take into consideration that it's likely going to rise as they continue to print money as we move into this clean energy future. They're going to fund that by taxes and printing money. That's what they're going to do. This is the time to get out of high interest rate consumer debt, to position yourself in a business that is going to be able to help you, ride this crazy wave that's coming. Because look at what's coming. I mean, he's acquired 242,000 acres of farmland. That's 250,000 acres of farmland, right? Look at the cover of this Economist magazine. I mean, that's pretty freaky, right? That is pretty freaky. And when you look at who their shareholders are, I mean, you got some powerful names. It's not like it's some fly-by-night operation. And you look at what's going on in Netherlands, right? Netherlands, they're okayed a $1.61 billion deal to take over 3,000 acres of farmland, and it's the second largest food producer, right? The world's second largest food producer and agricultural exporter. And if you look at this came out 2 months ago. It says how to mitigate the effects of climate, right, on global food insecurity. And they say that because of climate, right, if you look at the map, it's about to start to take off, right? It's about to start to take off, and it's going to ramp up dramatically in the years to come. They say in order to mitigate the effects of climate on food insecurity, it is essential that governments and organizations take proactive steps to develop strategies for food production and access that can better withstand extreme weather events and climate. These efforts should include investment in agricultural infrastructure, diversification of crops and food sources, food storage systems designed for long-term preservation, and training for local farmers on sustainable agricultural techniques. By taking actions today to address the impacts of climate on food insecurity, we can ensure a future where food availability is not threatened by climate, right? So when you look at our map here, when you look at the direction of all these situations that are unfolding, you can just tell, or at least I can, that we're going to be walking in to a big problem here in America. I mean, you look at just what happened in California. Look at California, for example. California lost their crops after this massive flood. They said that it hit at the worst possible time, right? For the farms and the flood of the catastrophe hit at the worst possible time, right? And this is a $4 billion industry around strawberries, lettuce, broccoli. They produce 25% of our fruits and vegetables in America. So when you have a situation where all these train derailments are happening, what's happening right now in Ukraine, look at this. Ukrainian farmers sowed almost 17 million hectares of spring crops. It's the most area in Austria and Czechia together, right? And then you look at it today. It's the size of Belgium, right? So they sowed 22% less. The area sowed 2.8 million hectares. So it went from 17 million to 2.8. So look at Ukraine, look at Netherlands, look at California, look at all these train derailments. You look at the carbon pipeline. I personally see food inflation, right? That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at food inflation. I'm looking at we're going to walk into a situation in which the next couple of years they're likely going to continue to print a ton of money, and the only way in which they're going to fund all these green projects will likely be increased taxes. So what's going to happen in that situation? We have elevated interest rates. The cost to borrow money is going to get more expensive. Our dollar is going to have less purchasing power. I mean, this is the death to the middle class. That's what we're walking into. Again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone. On this channel, I talk about the truth, like, personal finance, real estate, business, and money, but like true personal finance. So we can all, position ourselves based on what's actually happening. We're walking into the death of the middle class. And I believe that, if you're focused and if you're motivated, you're going to make a lot of, smart decisions over the next couple of years. But a lot of people think that this stuff is not actually happening and that this is, a no issue and it'll be forgotten and everything's going to go back to 2017. I'm not one of those people. And I don't think you are either if you're watching this. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think we're walking into a big problem? Seems like it. Drop below, hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this video to educate more people about what's going on. And if you want to fix your credit, we would love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. Add me on IG as well for short form content, and I'll post anywhere else. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.